side. It's great. Just catch it at a time where it's not super crowded, and it's just a dream. It cruising along about 40-45 miles an hour. Got some bluegrass cooking out of the radio. Just can't beat it. There you go. Big open fields. I love it. We have arrived. Oh good, it looks like there's already people getting here and setting up and whatnot.
You might think I'm crazy, but baby, I'm perfectly sane.
There's the famous windmill.
It's nice to think that, baby.
Well guys, it's midday on Saturday here, so I figured I'd shoot a little update and go through the show a little bit here. Got lots of flea market this time. That's actually got a really good turnout. Got some tractors over here and whatnot. Nothing too crazy. I think we'll have more people showing up tomorrow, but either way, today's been pretty fun so far. Our spring shows are always a little bit on the light side anyways, but here's my display for this show. I'm taking it a little bit light this time because I'm bringing all this stuff up to college with me, straight from this show. I'm going to be keeping it at my buddy Jake's place, so I can't bring too much. But as usual, we got the hit and miss Briggs here putting away, as you can see. Got it running at a decent speed. And next in the lineup is the 1939 Briggs Model B. Got this just chugging along at a nice idle. Usually I have this one driving a pump, so I have it running a little bit faster, but as you can hear, literally just thumping along. Next up, we actually have the 1934 Briggs Model K. Or actually, I think it's 35. I always forget. The KR4, I just did a video on this recently. Made it out to its first show. Fired up on the first pull, I couldn't be happier. Also just dumping along here. We could probably even drop that down a touch. I mean, you can practically see the fins on the flywheel there. But it's been running great all day. I'm very happy with it. At some point I'm going to have to make an actual fuel line for that. I just didn't have time before the show. And it also looks like I got a slight oil leak by the valve cover. That's no biggie. Next up we got the 1928 Fuller & Johnson. Just putting along. It's actually been running pretty decently today. Sometimes it gives me trouble. And then we got the big Whitty. Just thumping right along. Got it run nice and slow so people can actually see what the hell is going on in there. Got a nice thump too. Next up we got my buddy Lester's stuff here. He's got nice signs too, I'll say that much. As you can see, it's a 1936 Stover CT2 paired with a W&B Douglas water pump from 1912. Got the Stover CT2 here running really nice. Got the rubber ducky in the top, of course. Leather belted over to this pump. I'm pretty sure this pump was an absolute basket case when he got it. He did a really nice job restoring it. And if you look, there's actually a really big old repair back down in there. And I'm sure, knowing Lester, he made a crap ton of the parts that were on this too. But that's a really nice piece. Over here we got my buddy Bruce. His Stover's running. It's a 2-horse Stover. Model K. And here it's his latest edition. It's a Kermath Sea Pup. And he made this really awesome boat enclosure for it. I absolutely love it. It's great. So here's the engine. It's an old inboard marine engine. Got his cooling tank there, gas tank up here. Actually got the transmission hooked up to a propeller too. As you can see. Had to do a lot of work to this thing, right?
Yeah. A lot more.
Pretty neat piece. Over here we got, I think it's a 1969 Lock reel mower. I'll have to find the guy that owns this, get him to fire it up for us. Could take it for a little spin. It runs really nice. It cuts well too. And right here we have a pretty interesting piece. This is a it's either 30s or 20s Coldwell mower. It's got their custom Coldwell water-cooled engine on it. And it's just a really neat piece. You don't see these a heck of a lot. And these were a really, really high-end machine back in the day. So I'll have to find him in a little bit, see if we can't fire that up and take it for a spin. Next up we got Stanley stuff. Got a Waterloo boy here. 1 3/4 horsepower, air cooled. Running real nice and slow. What year is this one? 1914. We've also got an International here. The water-cooled upright. Also running pretty slow. I don't think you usually see too many of the water-cooled Internationals. I think you usually see the upright air-cooled Famouses. Open crank. And up on the trailer here we have another, I think that's another International upright. 3-horse International? Cool. It's tank cooled too, which is kind of neat. Looks like a pretty nice engine. He had it running before, so I'm sure I'll catch it again. Wandering down the line here. Looks like a couple model marine engines.
A lot of wood by hand and pieces made separate.
Wow. Very impressive.
I have to have the engines in front of me to make them. Here, I'll show you the pieces in this book. That's the real one. Those are models I made.
Wow.
Made that. That's Willis Marine's boat. That's Seymour's and Northport's boat. I used to own that. That's the real boat when it was made. And here it is here. And made those two models. This one here from that. But back here shows the engines before they're actually glued together with the wood. Here's someplace for the back. There it is.
Oh wow.
That's what they look like before they're painted. I just laid everything on it just to show you.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to do, but I can only do that in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out here in the summertime.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you so much.
We got a
Have a good one.
flathead Ford
Yep.
V8. This is
1938.
60 horse.
Yeah.
Very cool. Got dual carburetors on it too. Stromberg 97s. That's a cool piece. Moving on down the line here, we got some of the Young stuff. This 1917 1 3/4 horsepower Mogul. Another cute little International Harvester. Mogul Junior, 1 horse, 1917. Some of you guys who have been viewing the channel for a little while might actually recognize this engine. I got this from a different guy in the club who passed away recently, and it was an absolute basket case. So I put it all back together and made the skids. And there's a video on my channel about it if you go back a little ways. I'll put a card up there for you. We got a International LA or LB here. LA. And then the old Ford pickup truck here. It's pretty neat. I think this is something of a hot rod, if I remember correctly. Over there we got the old 60s GMC ice cream truck, which is pretty neat. We can wander over down here. Not too many tractors here today, for one reason or another. Although it is Saturday, so a lot of people are still working and busy and whatnot. We usually get more people here on Sundays. There's an old Farmall. This looks like one of those old military generator units on the trailer there. Although I think he's heading out. Another big old Farmall. Some Cub Cadets. And we got this cool little thing. I think it's a little wheel horse. It's all painted up, made look like an army thing, and we got the cannon that he was towing behind it too, which I think is actually an old fire extinguisher. That's pretty neat. And we got the army Jeep here too, which some of you guys may have seen in some of the other videos. Got the big old International truck here. Oh, actually, this guy wasn't leaving. We'll take a look at this generator. It's a cute little 4-cylinder engine.
You want me to run it?
Sure. What is it?
It's a military generator.
That's what I thought.
It's out of a barn.
Is it a Kohler?
No, it's got a Hercules motor,
Okay.
and the generator head is a Hobart Brothers.
Oh, Hobart, all right.
There.
There's the tag there. And 1200 RPM, that's gotta sound nice.
It's got a nice hump to it.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
It's starving for fuel, so it'll either choke itself or it'll just completely starve. But to level it out on the trailer.
Yeah, that'll help.
So the fuel goes this way. There are more tags over here. If you want to check them out.
Yeah, sure.
You can't really see that well. 1942.
So World War II era.
Yep.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I got it out of a barn in, on Dunlop Road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
The guy comes to the restaurant, his uncle had it. He passed away, he was cleaning the property. I saw this in the corner of his barn. I said,
Wow.
yo, what's that? He said, I don't know.
Is that on like a homemade trailer too?
Yeah, Model A front axle.
Oh,
Wishbone
okay.
Front axle, yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Steering's still there, the brakes are still there.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, completely, you know, homemade stuff.
Yeah.
This still works, this gauge. I think this one works, but right now, a little bit of a wiring issue.
Yeah.
Front.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing.
Wander on down the line here. Big old international truck here. Got some John Deere's here. I've never seen one like this actually. They're kind of neat looking. Looks like a little upright twin cylinder. Although like I said, I know basically nothing about these. Some more Farmalls. A Caterpillar diesel with tracks on it. In 1938. Over here we got a couple old trucks. It's a really, really beautifully restored Chevy here. 1950s, I'm gonna guess. Got the little wood sides on it. And probably wood paneled bed. Yep. It's a really clean, nice looking truck though, that's for darn sure. It's actually got little windows in the back here, which is kind of neat. I've never seen that before. So 1954. And this looks like 1960s, I'm gonna guess. 61? Chevy Apache. Also a very clean truck. How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Pretty good. What engine has it got in it?
283.
283?
Small block Chevy.
Cool. It's a nice truck.
Thanks.
More Farmalls. Got the bouncy house for the kids this time, which is kind of cool. Not really much noteworthy stuff over here. I'm gonna wander down over the big bar and see what big engines we fired up. Quick shot of that old Chevy ice cream truck. It's a pretty neat truck. And they actually use it to serve ice cream at the shows too. Wandering on down here, we got Steve's little railway car here. I don't think he's gotten this running yet, but it's a pretty neat little car. The 15 horse Fairbanks was running earlier. I don't know what happened. Maybe we ran out of gas or it's taking a rest. But this drove a sawmill on Long Island for probably a pretty long time. It's a big Fairbanks 15 horse throttler. It just sits there and puts along all day. You can hardly hear it running. Over here, this is an engine we haven't seen run in a while. It's an upright Fairbanks T, a 9 horsepower. We believe it was a winch engine with the extended crank it's got over there. But it's a nice runner. Kind of thumping along. And it's igniter fired too, which is pretty neat. Over in the middle here we have the walking beam Alamo, which has been giving us some trouble today, so it's not currently running, unfortunately. But we do have the New Hollands running. I forget what horsepower this thing is. But this has been running really nice all day. This is the Lorenz engine, one of the Czechoslovakian made engines we have here. These things are really freaking neat. It's a hit and miss, but instead of latching out the exhaust, it latches out the intake. So it's a hit and miss based on fuel. And it's also a really interesting design because you have the actuated intake valve here, but in here there's actually two more intake valves and they're stacked. And this is your mixer and it will drip fuel in. So one lets the air in, and then when that pulls down, or when this one gets actuated, it pulls one down and then the other. So it'll suck the fuel then the air in. And it's actually gravity feed because this is your gas tank. It runs really nice too. And it's crazy how little fuel these things will use. It'll run all day on that little tank. It's kind of crazy. And here we have the big 10 horse auto. This is also a hit and miss, governed by fuel. And over here we got the big old Evans running. I think this is from around 1900. And it's actually sitting on its original wood blocks too. Big old oil field engine. Just putting away. It's a big old piston up there. This here is a big old, I think it's like a 25 horse Bessemer. We might fire it up for a bit later, but our cooling tank's got some holes in it, so no promises on that. Big old two-stroke. And we got Steve's cement mixer here. Got a Silver CT2 in it. Also his Caterpillar generator. I think this is from the 60s. Could be wrong about that. We fired it up for the first time since 1991 last night. And it runs pretty good. It's pretty cool. I'll see if we can get him to fire it up again later. This is some more of Steve's stuff that he's working on. Big Oliver tractor. Some Cleatrack stuff. This big Nelson Bros throttle governed engine. No, it's actually tagged Maynard. Can wander over here a little bit. Got the blacksmith shop. I'll stop in there in a little while. Got some more tractors down here. John Deere. Case with a Farmall. Much bigger John Deere. Massey. The Oliver. It's a cute little Farmall Cub. Another big John Deere A.
At AAA, we recognize that their goals are achievements, the byproducts of time and effort.
Looks like they're currently running the sawmill too. I'll get over there in a second.
Fueled by blood, sweat, and tears. Dream homes built by double shifts. These things are our work.
Got the big old shovel that was running earlier. I'll see if I can get Gene over here. We can run that again in a little bit. And then Gene also brought this weird looking thing. I have no idea what it is, but it's cool. It kind of almost looks like an old steamroller, but it's a gas engine. Pretty neat. I'll have to ask him about this when I see him. Actually, that says Fordson. I wonder if this is an old Fordson tractor that got turned into a roller. Or whether this was something that they actually built or what. I'm not sure. But either way, it's pretty neat. Definitely not something you see every day. Let's run over to the sawmill here, get some video of that. I think they actually repainted this thing recently. It looks really new and shiny again. But yeah, we'll start with big logs like that. They can come down into like 2x4s and stuff. I believe the story with this was that it was I think it's from the 20s, and it was a portable sawmill that they used to carry into the forest with horses, all disassembled, put it together, and chop down all the forest around it until it got to the point where the trees left were too far away from the thing. They'd take it apart again and move further into the forest. But a lot of the wood that this building is made out of, and that barn is made out of, and probably the blacksmith shop is all made on this sawmill. Also, I think originally it was steam powered, but we don't have the steam engine with it, so we run it with the big diesel over there. But overall, it's a pretty neat piece. It's getting to be later Saturday afternoon now. A lot of people have headed out, so we got a little bored. Decided to make some noise. This is Steve's cement mixer. As you can see. The Rex mixer, it's got a Stover CT2 in it. Rather loud. Between that muffler being a little shot in the chain, it's pretty loud, but it's a pretty neat piece. I'll keep you guys updated if we play with any other toys tonight or not. We'll have to see what Steve's in the mood for. But just figured you guys would like to see that. fun these things are to drive. Speed mode. So it's now Sunday morning. Unfortunately, it's really windy, so hopefully you can hear me. But I want to try doing something we haven't done before. I'm going to set up the camera here and go down the line and see which of my engines are going to fire up for me on camera this morning. So let's get to it. Well, there you have it. Took a few minutes because it's really cold and windy today. But we got them all going. Pretty darn happy like that. I'm going to let these all warm up for a little while and then we'll slow them down a little bit. This thing's got to warm up for quite a while before it'll run real nice and smooth. Tom's got to keep messing with the mixture, the air and the fuel there. Likes to speed up and slow down, speed up and slow down. Finally, we'll warm up and it'll run right. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see in there. It's actually got chain lubricators for the main bearings. I think this engine's somewhere between 1900 and 1910. It's on its original wood too. It's either 15 or 20 horse, I think. Pretty neat. Alright, I grabbed Stuart here. He's going to give us a rundown on his mowers here.
This is a 1930 Coldwell, made by one of the outfits that was the first ones in the United States to build and get the patents to build real mowers. They started building them around 1850. Horse-drawn, and then steam, and eventually gas-powered, ride-on, and golf course tractors, and all kinds of stuff. They built high quality. Up in Newburgh, New York, they were. And this particular one is around 1930. It's got their own Coldwell, totally enclosed motor. Cuts 25 inches. They also made a twin. This is 1 1/4 horsepower. The twin was 2.5. And the twin actually carried wing units with it, so it would cut about 60 inches wide. It was advertised to cut between 3 and 5 acres a day on that tank of gas, which is right about a gallon. Wow. And evaporative cooling, which when the water boils in the hopper, it goes up into that little radiator, condenses, and then goes back into the hopper, so it doesn't waste water.
Pretty neat. Hopefully you guys can hear that over the wind. Coldwell's own custom engine. Totally enclosed and water cooled with an evaporative cooling so that when the water boils it goes up into the radiator and condenses and goes back in. That's a little fan
See the clutch work?
Yeah.
This lever here moves the whole piece out. The cone is in the middle. The cones are like this, and then the pieces on the outside move in.
Huh. Gonna go cut some grass. What about this one here? The lock?
This is a 1969 25-inch lock that I got from a guy probably 30 years ago. Restored the whole thing. so it's a little bit later.
One of their cool bores, it looks like, with the gear reduction on it.
Yep, 6 to 1 gear. Beautiful running mower.
Yeah. Got that big swivel wheel on the back. If you guys look at the base that's on that engine with that swivel wheel, you notice it looks pretty darn familiar. If you go look at the one that's on my bridge model KR4, it's the same exact thing. And then can you give us some info on this Evinrude too?
This is about a 1948 Evinrude Zephyr. The Zephyrs were designed in 1939 and 40 and then curtailed during the World War II, and they started putting them back in operation in 46. It's the smallest production four-cylinder, smallest horsepower production four-cylinder motor made in the United States.
Wow. This is, in fact, a really tiny four-cylinder. You look, there's 4 spark plugs back there. There's 2 cylinders here and 2 cylinders on the other side.
4-cylinder opposed.
Pretty neat. Cool, well thanks for showing us around. Well, it wouldn't be a Power Association video without getting some footage of the Big Digger. Love the sound of that Buddha diesel working too, it's so cool. the latest addition to the collection. Even though I needed this thing like I needed a bullet in my head, this is a bit of an addiction. It was cheap and I knew it ran because I had it running last year for a different guy. He ended up passing away this year, unfortunately, so the guy in the club was selling some of his engines. And like I said, it was pretty darn cheap, so I couldn't really pass it up. I played the old, if it's still there at the end of the day game, I'll buy it. And guess what? It was still there at the end of the day. Ended up just cleaning the points and cleaning the check ball, and she fired right off. I want to say it's a WI, I forget. It's got a Sears tag on it, so I'll have to look that up. And as I remember from last year, it's got a slight smoking problem, but that's all right. I know it runs, so that's half the battle. I'll be able to pull it apart and rebuild it later this year. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. But yeah, I figured it was a cute little addition to the collection. I don't actually have one like this, so I figured why the hell not.
I just have to slide this end out so I can have more room for the hole in there.
Guys, as you can see, all my engines are shut off, letting them cool down because I unfortunately have to leave on the earlier side today to make my ferry to get back up to school. But everything ran really well all weekend. I'm very pleased. And the show was a little bit on the smaller side, but our spring shows usually are. So I'm not too worried about it. The summer show should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you get a really good turnout. So stay tuned for that video in July. But yeah. Gonna go ahead and get everything loaded up. If I have time, I'll get a little footage of the tractor pull here, and then we're gonna hit the road again. So I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit.
Here he goes. Following the left line. Getting into the center. 7,000 pounds. Almost 770. All right, I'll give it a football. Football. This thing's going to get the D2. Little Caterpillar D2. generation. I think it's from the late 30s, early 40s. There we go. Pete Buckley.
What engine's in this thing? 5,500. Wow. Wow. That's pretty cool. About a 600 cubic inch 3-cylinder Caterpillar. Pretty neat.
And then the 4.6G second and the second generation
Well guys, I'm on my way out to the Orienport Ferry heading up to school. Didn't get a chance to really record anything while I was there because as usual I'm in a rush. But overall it's a pretty good show. A little low on turnout, but as I said a couple times, our spring show is usually the smaller one anyways. But it was definitely a good time. I had a lot of fun. I think everybody